Alrighty, this one goes out to my good friend Andy Volkowski, and I want to warn you up front that I do use a modicum of profanity. So if that's not your bag, then you probably don't want to watch this. So this is about my friend Tony. I went to high school with Tony, and Tony didn't do so great for himself. He ended up still living in Cleveland, living in his mom's basement, flipping burgers at the local Burger King. 35 years old, and he had a couple good friends, and his friends were always trying to cheer him up. And one time his friends bought tickets to the circus, and they all went to the circus. And they sat in the stands, sort of close to the front, and bought some popcorn and cotton candy, and had a pretty good time. They were watching the trapeze artists do these incredible stunts, and then a lion tamer and the elephants came out. About midway through the show, the clowns came out, and they come out in their clown car, and they're bouncing around on balls and juggling, and the whole clown thing. And this one clown is working the crowd a little bit, and he's sort of moving around the stands, and he gets to the area where Tony and his friends are sitting, and he sees Tony, and he decides, this is an easy mark, and he starts laying in on Tony. He's like, you look like such a schlub. I bet you still live in your mom's basement. I bet you are flipping burgers at the local Burger King. Your fashion, it looks like you haven't even been in a TJ Maxx for 10 years. And the crowd is having a good time, enjoying laughing at Tony. And poor Tony is completely flustered and turning red and embarrassed. And even his friends feel sort of bad for him. And the clown just keeps going. The clown says, "You're so ugly, I bet your mom won't even go to the movies with you." And poor Tony, at this point, he's just beside himself. He's absolutely nonplussed, which up until recently I've been using that word incorrectly. He's speechless, and he's fuming, and he's practically in tears, and he storms out of the circus tent. And right then and there, he vows revenge. So Tony goes home that night, and he can't sleep, and so he decides to go online. He's surfing the net a little bit, and he stumbles across this college in Utah that specializes in comebacks. So Tony applies, and he gets accepted, and he packs his bags, and he moves to Utah, and he does a 4-year BFA in comebackery, and he takes classes in insults, and the witty bon mot, and practical jokes. They do a whole semester just on the work of Oscar Wilde. So 4 years goes by, and Tony gets his degree, and he decides he's not quite ready. So gets a master's and finally a DMA in comebackery, and does his thesis on the ultimate comeback. And now Tony's ready. So he goes back to Cleveland and stays with his mom for a little while. And he waits a month, he waits a couple months. Finally, the circus comes in town, and he buys a ticket to the circus. Goes by himself this time. Sits in the same area of the stands as he sat the first time, and he's watching the show, the trapeze artists, the elephants, lion tamer, the whole thing. He's having a pretty good time. Finally, the clowns come out and bounce out of their clown car, and they're doing the whole clown thing all over the place, and the same clown working the crowd makes his way over to Tony's area. He says, "That's Tony." And he says to himself, "This is the same schlub from 8 years ago." So he starts giving Tony the exact same hard time he gave him the first time. And the crowd's going wild, having a blast at Tony's expense. And Tony's just sitting there with this beautiful air of calm about him and a half smile on his face. And he takes the insults, and the clown keeps going. In 3-4 minutes, finally, Tony stands up. And the crowd grows completely silent. What's going to happen? And Tony stands and looks the clown in the eye and sort of squares himself off, looks straight at the clown, complete calm, and says, "Hey, clown, fuck you."